Good evening and welcome to another exciting episode of Goth Yearbook. Is your host as always, Eric, aka the Eric Wynn, and with us as always is the hostess with the mostest, Caitlin, aka the Caitlin D. Caitlin, how is it disdaining?
That was okay.
I thought I'd get a little bit better about that one.
Well, I was in the middle of a yawn, and
yeah.
I apologize for that. I'm already bored. No, you just tend to reference things that we're talking about before we start recording.
What am I supposed to do? Make it topical? Like, how is it 11-3?
Maybe something that anyone listening would have any idea what you're talking about.
How's it White Lotusing? I'm like referencing TV shows from 3 months ago.
What? Yeah. I thought you were gonna go with how's it dreaming or something.
I actually did consider that, and I apologize. For those of you,
because I don't want to go into the whole explanation of why you said why.
I don't either. Strike that from the record. We'll talk about the dreaming. As those of you might know who are following on the Instagram at Goth Yearbook, friends of the show and very frequent collaborators, I would say, Ashley and Lauren of Keep It Weird, they invited yours truly, not Caitlin, onto their show to talk about dreams. To be fair, though, I already see a shaking of the head, a disapproving, disdainful shaking of the head. But you were on their show.
That's where disdain does make sense.
you were technically on their show talking about aliens.
I was, which is very related to dreaming, in my opinion. However, when I saw the topic that you guys were talking about, I did have a brief moment where I had to close my phone and take a beat. And it was kind of like seeing someone you're dating casually, post something on Instagram where they're at a place you really like with someone else, and you're not official or anything, but now you just know they're hanging out and they're doing something that you wish you were doing with them. And you're I don't the heat rose up in my face and I just got a little kind of wanted to grab a vice, figure out I needed a snack, to cool off. And I think I sat in the grass. I think I was on a walk when I found out.
It's even funnier because your reactions were not of one who took a breather. I'll say that. The DMs were me. The DM messages were very immediate and fired up. In your words, you said, "This is like taking your mistress to your wife's favorite restaurant," which made me crack up. Which made me laugh because as you're saying all this, you're like, oh, it's it's not even that myself or Ashley and Lauren represent the person that you'd be like, I want to be there with them. It's that you want to be on a podcast by yourself talking about dreams.
I should just have a podcast where I just tell people what dreams are. Mm-hmm. And and no, I don't actually want to do that because it's so complicated. It just, if you're listening and you don't know my attachment to this subject, I've just been fascinated by / reading books about / intensely documenting and interpreting my dreams and hosting dream circles, participating in dream circles.
I will say, actually, a year ago, this whole month, November, we set aside for a full month dedicated to episodes about dreams. So it actually
we did.
Remember, we did 3 episodes about dreams, and we had Chris. I'm gonna blank on his name, but the guy come on to talk about dream interpretations and all that. You must have been sleeping.
Ding, was ding, that ding. A dream? Because I don't remember that at all.
So real quickly, I'm gonna let the audience know. Yes, I was on their show last night, pre-recording because they don't do it live like us. And we were talking.
And again, that show is called Keep It Weird.
And each of us had a little thing we were doing. So we talked a little bit about kind of the science behind dreams, or at least them trying to make sense of the science of dreaming, even though it's nearly impossible. But we talked a little bit about the history of it, and we talked about lucid dreaming, and then we spent a little time near the end, of course, because they always got to keep it a little creepy. We talked about night terrors and sleep paralysis and things like that. And I did reference your meticulous, and I like actually your dream journaling method, but I'm going to say it to you. I'm going to repeat it back to you, and you tell me how right or wrong I am, because
I'm already fired up.
Yeah, I can tell.
Someone needs to call a doctor.
So this is what I said, Caitlin. What I said was that you will have dreams, and that you will wake up, you go on your phone on the Notes app, and you write down pretty much like the bulk of like what you remember, and then you'll kind of like highlight the key words, like things like, well, if there was like a dragon present, or a tiger, or like oatmeal, and then or like a color or a mood, blah blah blah, and then you'll highlight those words, and then I think you have like a dream dictionary or something like that, and you'll see like or maybe you just go to a real dictionary or at the source or something like that, and you see like what are related or common themes with those words, and then you kind of like make this outline or like sort of diagram thing, seeing where the connection is.
You had it until the end.
Oh.
I don't use external sources. I use my own calm down. I use my own internal associations with the word. So if it's tiger, because the thing is, like, dream dictionaries are cool because they show what things maybe represent symbolically, or what a lot of the common or collective unconscious experience of a symbol is. But everyone has a personal interpretation. Like someone who grew up with like snakes in their garden and like had a really positive relationship with snakes is different from someone whose like dad died of a snake bite. You know, like, so if a snake appears in someone's dream, that's going to have a different symbolism and meaning. But there is like a common thread where snakes like can represent rebirth because they shed their skin, you know? And so there's like common elements, but people have different associations with stuff. So but you nailed it until then, because and I think what's great about that method is I think usually people wake up and they're like, oh, I only remember like a thing from my dream, so it's not worth writing down. But even if you just remember that thing, more often than not, if I just write that thing down, I end up with like paragraphs, because either I'm like kind of like spinning off of what that sort of is making me reflect on that's going on in my life, or once I start actually writing it down, my unconscious will like sort of give me more material, like spoon feed me like more, because I'm like showing interest in it. But yeah, overall, you were close, but I'm still gonna be listening to that episode with like a stress ball.
That's fair. I will say it was quite fun. I believe it's dropping already this Friday. God, they are they are very on top of it. When will this episode drop?
I don't know. And I do want to note for our listeners, while I'm roasting Eric, that I have frequently offered to edit our episodes.
all right. I don't like the direction that this is going.
And let's talk about playlists for a second.
Okay. All right. So first of all, I know that there's a lot of people who thought the podcast was breaking up last week.
Oh my God, I know. People really thought I was extremely mad at you.
Yeah, I got some
I don't
messages.
know if it was the all caps captions on my Instagram stories, or if it was the hashtag canceled Goth Yearbook that I put in every post.
I did get some messages. It felt like I was in like the final days of like the Beatles or something like that. Like people thought we were gonna be recording this episode from a rooftop. It was just like it was all over apparently to everyone.
Yeah, no.
Do you want me to give mine?
If I'm ever being publicly mad at Eric, just rest assured everything's fine. If I am like quiet and like mysteriously missing from the episodes, I'm fucking pissed. So just let it be known.
Oh fuck, I'm fucking sweating over here. Okay. Real quickly. Kaylin had a great idea like 2 weeks ago. She said, hey,
you're gonna tell this. Okay, go ahead.
Should we? I mean, we can't bring it up in the nod. So
okay, yeah, sure.
Kaylin had a great idea a couple weeks ago, which was like, hey, like in the spirit of Halloween, why don't we make like this kind of spooky, fun playlist that will include like a lot of guests we've had on the show, blah blah blah, music guests that we've had specifically.
And I brought this up because I already had made a playlist that I was like, this is cool. I really liked some of these tracks, and I want like this to be shared with our listeners. And I sent it to Eric.
This is where we went off the rails. This is where my triple Aquarius. Okay, here's the thing. when I'm at work, I'm a very busy guy. Like I do a Monday through Friday job. I'm there like practically like 6:30 a.m. till like fucking 5:30 p.m. It's not an excuse, but it does mean that sometimes when my dear friend and co-host over here sends me stuff, sometimes it goes in one ear and out the other. I don't process it completely.
It's also where you do 99% of the work for this show. I do want to point out.
Whoa, hey. That's top shelf confidential. Anywho, long story short. I don't think that's
what top shelf refers to.
I don't think so either.
Go ahead.
Classic Eric. Long story short, she sent me this playlist. In my head, I swear to God, hand to God, I thought you just sent me a Ram playlist as a template, which is so crazy in retrospect. But I thought you were saying like this one.
And he didn't even look at my playlist. And I guarantee you he still hasn't opened it or have any idea what's on that playlist. He thought I was sending him an example of what a playlist was. He thought that a musician that met him on a show about music because he asked me to come on as a musician, I thought that Eric, a DJ, didn't know what a playlist was.
Excuse me. I thought okay.
Whatever.
What was that noise? Was that cowbell that just came in?
This is we need to move on.
Okay, yeah.
I'm starting this episode real heated, so I guess that's appropriate. There's our segue.
Yeah. And long story short, Kayla and I hashed it out. We are friends again. The podcast lives on to see another day. Maybe one more episode. We'll see.
Oh, well, we didn't really finish. Really quick. Eric basically thought I was just sending him an example of like, this is what a playlist is in case you've never heard of a playlist in your life. And he made a playlist for our followers that he like sent out, made art for, created a whole thing. And he did not include a single track that I had sent him from my playlist. And I normally am not someone who shares music. So it's like the last time I ever go out on a limb like this. So
oh my gosh.
Anyway, I posted a bunch of things being angry at Eric and being like, cancel Goth Yearbook. And a few people thought I was serious. And then I felt really bad and took them down because like, obviously I'm not going to go on a rant against you online, but people love the drama of that. People were like, ooh, what happened?
Oh, I was going to say, I could picture you like actually like playing into like by your bedside, like some of your friends are like you have like the sweat rag on you. You're like, I don't know what will go on. Okay. You're right. Let's move on to this. We are good.
Yeah.
I am sweating a bunch because that was just, I was in the hot seat. But let's speaking of hot seats, let's get right to our guest for this evening. I don't know. Our guest this evening is an actor and writer and podcast host who has, they've done it all. They've written for Funny or Die, Adult Swim, The Onion. They were a part of the UCB. They've appeared on the hit TBS show Search Party and most recently Sunnyside on NBC. They currently host the podcast What Are You Into? Please welcome to the show the one and the only Kelly Hudson, who is, look at that.
Hi, you guys.
Hey.
Hello. Telecommuting, astral projecting from inside a very well-kept, very clean, and very like soundproof
extremely clean closet, as you can see. Very orderly over here.
You saw mine. How are we this evening?
We're good. We're very good. Having a little drink, getting comfy in the closet.
What's the drink of choice?
It's bourbon and water.
Oh,
it's nice. Right to the point.
Yeah, it seems like a weird, depressing drink or something, but it's like any other cocktail without all the stupid shit, leave out the sugar.
The kind of drink the boomer dad drinks after he finds after his son comes out of the closet.
Totally.
I need a serious drink, Cheryl.
Yeah.
Give it. Pour it for me now. Yeah, exactly. That's what kind of mood I'm in tonight, I guess.
Perfect. Great.
Oh,
Caitlin,
for having me.
Thank you for being on. I'm so excited to have you on the show. I was about to ask Caitlin, what is your, like, if you're going to go somewhere, what is your drink of choice? I don't know if I've ever asked you that before. I'm curious. I want to see if there's like a dichotomy or like what the difference might be.
Honestly, it totally depends on my mood, but I don't like cocktails usually. So I'll either go, it just depends where I'm at. I like red wine. I like a nice glass of red wine, or I like a tequila soda if I know I'm going to get lit.
No, that's it. Okay.
Yeah. Tequila's the way to go if you want to get lit. I mean, and I just want to add that this isn't like my drink of choice. I really am one of those people who kind of just like does weird shit sometimes. Like I haven't had this particular drink in probably like 3 years. Like the usual drink is red wine for me too.
Mm-hmm. We like cut to like you in that closet every night with that like bourbon and water.
I never ever have this.
It's like you recording a podcast, but then like the camera swirls and the computer's like turned off. Like the mic's not plugged into anything.
And Eric, yours is like the quintessential alcoholic drink, right? It's like gin and tonic or something.
Well, yeah, because I am now a sober man, but it was at one time. It was a gin and tonic, or it was Carlo Rossi, you know, those table wines. I would drink like 2 or 3 of those to my face a night.
Garbage.
Yeah. I mean, I had to go to rehab for a reason.
Your body.
I mean, I'm sober now too, to be fair. But yeah, if someone put a gun to my head and said drink, I would have a Paloma actually, if in that situation, and I ought to have anything.
What did you guys ever have like a? I mean, when you're younger, because like when I was young, and like you had to like, you know, it was like money is like tight. You're not even 21, so it's like you had to like kind of like ration out like what you got and had to like really be effective. So like for me, that was Steel Reserve 40s, which are like, to even think about it now makes like my whole entire like soul curdle up just to imagine it. Like malt liquor 40s in general are really disgusting.
Yeah, it's rough stuff. I mean, Carlo Rossi was my college deal. Like
that's what's up.
Bottom of the barrel. But you know, you can get a big group of people drunk on a jug, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
Or one guy. But yeah. Sorry, I shouldn't pick on you for whatever.
Life already
alcohol.
did, you know.
I would just target old men at bars and make them buy me drinks.
When I lived in New York, I would go to this one bar all the time after I do, you know, this. I like lived at the UCB for a while.
And so you were at the New York. You were at the
New York UCB.
Nice.
Yeah, it was before I moved to LA, and we would go to McManus, this bar down the street every night, and I would just like buy a drink just for show, you know, to be like, okay, like I'm buying something, but then I'd have like a flask.
Hell yeah.
The ultimate cheap. Yeah.
I was thinking about that recently, how I used to go to like Harvard and Stone, which is like
I remember Harvard and Stone.
Yeah, that bar still exists. It's not like a dive bar or anything either. And I used to have this fur coat, and I would just bring an entire bottle of Jameson, not like a flask, like not a mini one, a bottle of Jameson in, and I would just keep it in the inside pocket of my coat, and then I would just drink it by like lifting the sleeve up.
Yeah, I lived around the corner from Harvard and Stone. That was like my first apartment in LA.
So, nice.
Yeah, around the corner from Jumbo's as well.
Oh shit.
Good stuff, guys.
What years like were you active at UCB in New York, just out of curiosity? Like what era was that?
I moved to New York in 2006 and then kind of just jumped right in and then was active until I left in like 2014 or so. Oh
man, that was a very fertile time to be at that theater, because I know you're friends with John Gabris, and like that was like a similar
He was there like a little before me, so I was like, you know, he was an upperclassman. It was very high school. It was so stupid. But yes,
if you don't mind my asking, who were some of your teachers that you had?
Oh my God, Joe Wangert, who's one of the writers and voices on Big Mouth. I mean, everyone on Big Mouth was like, this guy named Charlie Todd taught a couple of my classes. He's the guy behind Improv Everywhere.
Okay.
Chris Gethard, who's you know, famous podcaster at this point.
Yeah.
Actor. Michael Delaney, who's just like a UCB guy. He will always be a UCB guy. Really brilliant improviser. But yeah, and then Charlie Sanders, who's also out in LA now.
Those
awesome. Were some of the big boys. Yeah. Great teacher.
It makes sense that you came from like that same sort of pool, because you're fucking hilarious, and that's why I started following your stuff. So We do have a decent amount of voicemails and questions this evening, so would you like to dive right in?
I would love to. This is so exciting.
Well, Kelly, actually, this is, and Caitlin, I saved this as a surprise for you as well.
Oh my God.
You posted today that you're like, hey, by the way, I'm also a mom. If any moms want to hit me up or ask me mom-related questions. Ongoing theme on this show is the fact that my mom does not listen to the show. In fact, she often will say things like, well, like podcasts, I don't get it. But then we'll see me like a month later and be like, do you know that Dak Shepard has a podcast that I listen to every episode because I know how to operate my phone and I know how to find his podcast? But then I'll say like, what about mine? She's like, oh, Apple.
I don't know. What app do I use? I don't know.
I reached out to her and guess what? Mom to mom, she left us a fucking voicemail, Caitlin.
Hell yeah.
The one and the only Jog, which is so fun because she's in my phone as Jog, so it's like that's what comes up on my like Gmail phone thing.
Wait, what does Jog stand for?
Nickname.
It's her nickname. My brother / cousin, just a guy who's like in our family who's like always been just like a weirdo. He just like one day was just like, she's Jog. And we're like, what does that mean? He's like, I don't know. It's like she goes running a lot. And she's never gone running once in her adult life.
I imagine her running. I don't know.
Like, there's never been clarity to it other than her name is Janelle and starts with a J, and thus Jog was somehow born.
That's cute.
All right, let's see what old Jog has to say.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Janelle, and my question for your specialist this evening is if she's got any suggestions for better communication. Sometimes I have a hard time saying what I need or not what I want, but what I need, and sometimes I just have a hard time communicating with my daughters, so I was wondering if there's any suggestions. Thank you. Bye.
What's funny is I think one of her daughters was right there with her when she was recording that. It's kind of funny.
Being like, okay.
Yeah, I was going to say best advice is definitely to call your son's podcast and leave a voicemail.
Oh my God.
You know what's funny is I referred to her because I told her, I texted her and I was like, hey, mom, this is what I referred to. I was like, I have a mom specialist coming on the show tonight. Do you have any questions for her? Because like I've tried repeatedly to bait her into like sending a voicemail sometimes, and like I think nothing ever quite like caught. So then I was like, hey, a mom specialist, who knows? And it I don't think she remembered though, because then at the very like last second I text her again. I was like, hey, so just so you're aware, like I record at 8:30. And then I got this voicemail at 8:45. So clutch.
Oh my God.
Clutch.
This is amazing. Okay. So communication. I've been like learning a lot of tips and tricks for how to get my toddler to do what I want, basically. And it's kind of like really good to apply to any situation, because the tip that I heard is to sort of like, if your kid's like watching TV and it's time to go to bed or whatever, you can be like, I see you're watching TV. Like, this is such a good show. You love this show, that kind of thing. You really kind of have to butter them up and then also like kind of relate to them in some way, and then be like, but it's going to be time to go to bed soon. And it's kind of the same thing with communicating, I feel like, with a teen or with like, I assume her daughters are teens. Yes?
Oh, no. Wait, no. Like older? 36 adults. And 40.
Okay. Sorry.
We're an older
bunch. You
bunch.
said one of them was with you. Okay. Like, okay.
Oh,
so
yeah, we're always we're always kind of like in and around our mom's orbit.
Yeah. Okay. So a way in which I like really aim to relate to my kid as he gets older, and something that like I just wish all parents would do, is just like really listen to your kid and like ask about what they like and like think about it and appreciate it and be like, that is so cool. That's you, like that's your thing. And I feel like that leads to like listening to someone and listening to what's important to them, like leads to the best communication. And then like, I think your mom mentioned something about like talking about what you want. Like, it's really hard and scary to ask for what you want. Like,
Man, no
it's just
shit.
like, super difficult. And I think just being clear about that with yourself before you talk to someone, and then sort of trying to see their side before going into, and this is my thing. And so, like, what can we do? That's my 2 cents.
That's actually extremely sound advice. I'm relating to a lot of times at work, I have a tendency, Caitlin is probably going to be like, yeah, that makes sense. I have been criticized at work for sometimes rambling on phone calls with vendors or customers or whoever I'm on the phone with, or people that we work alongside with, and not getting to the point, not being clear and concise, kind of being like all over the place. And so my boss told me one time, like, you basically
I just imagine you basically like playing a game of MASH with them, like making them take an online personality quiz. Like,
if only guys in the construction industry were into fucking MASH.
Like, what's your zodiac sign?
Oh boy.
Do you like purple, blue?
And my boss did give me advice of basically like set the intention for the phone call, like go in knowing like what is it that you're trying to accomplish, like say your part, listen to their part, and then find the agreement, like kind of like in and out, because people like me and my mom, her and I both kind of like process things very similarly. I think we both have a tendency to like, it's like our ADHD and this, that, and the other. It's just like sometimes things get like a little bit foggy, and sometimes we go into it like bumbling already. So it's hard to like, and when you're doing that, it's like hard for you to really listen to the person, hear like what they're saying.
It is like, I have to rehearse like big conversations, because like I just got diagnosed with ADHD, and I think that's a really big part of it.
Yeah.
I just have like everything in there at once, and I'm like, and I come off just being like a robot. I'm like, you want this, you want that, like, and it's just like, it's hard because you also have to like add in like the human aspect to it.
Totally. I was also picturing my mom, like, because you were saying like, you know, like talk to them about like, I like this. This is cool. Like I'm trying to see where you find value in this, and I'm trying to picture her like sitting down with me back when I had like a bad drug problem and being like, "This is so cool. Like, show me this."
This is cool that you like these drugs.
Just like you're like,
yeah,
you're
totally.
such a badass. But
I wish I had done drugs like this much, you know. Like, no, but like, you know, like at least just coming down to your level and understanding why. Like, I just wish a parent would just be like, I get it, like we just want to fucking escape. Like,
yeah, no shit.
It's
that
funny
would
because
feel good, you know.
When you were talking about like talking, when you were explaining that communication style, I was thinking how that's how I have to speak to my landlord to like get like anything done. If I approach him and I'm like, this is
butter,
please fix it, let me know. Oh, I am about to get evicted. Like, I am about to get a notice on my door. He's upset. He's angry. He's going to be like, you're rude. But if I call him on the phone and I'm like, I act like I just want to know what's going on in his life. And then I'm like, oh, hey, by the way, he's like, oh, I got you, sweetheart. Let me fix that right up. Someone's over in the morning. And it's like,
I can't help but be like, these are skills women have to learn.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because if we ask for what we want straight up, men are like, you're rude. Excuse me.
That's annoying.
Yeah. Shrill. Yeah.
Caitlin, did you have anything you want to say about that voicemail as well before we head on to the next one?
Asking for what you want. This is actually something I was discussing with a friend of mine who's also a practitioner of the healing arts, also a fellow body worker, and they had a very fucked up experience today with a client, and I have been like kind of trying to get them to have better boundaries around what they're charging, who they're willing to see, the circumstances, because they're always sort of like fudging. They'll like set a boundary and then someone will want something else, and instead of being like, oh well, then I guess we're not compatible, they'll be like, all right, and then they'll have a horrible experience that's just like not worth it. And I was saying how I really had to learn, because I was for a while, like it took me a while to figure out like what my prices were and what circumstances I was willing to see clients under. And I was like, you know what? It's first of all, it's patronizing for me to assume that someone can't afford a price that I need to set at this level.
Right.
And secondly, and it's also patronizing for me to assume that someone can't handle meeting my needs, or that they can't handle even hearing about them. And so it takes that emphasis off of being like compassionate and being like, oh, I need to like accommodate someone else. Like, I don't want to hurt someone's feelings or make them feel bad if they can't meet my expectations. It's like, well, why don't you hold them in a higher regard and assume that they'll at least be capable of hearing your expectations? And then if they have a reaction, you know, you can deal with that as just cut them out of your life. Just get rid of that kid.
Yeah.
But like going into it assuming that people can't give you what you want is like, well, give them a chance, you know?
Yeah. Dan Savage always says, like, come in with your kinks to your partner.
Yeah.
Ask for, like, not like you're presenting your partner with your terminal cancer diagnosis. You know, you're not like, I have cancer, you know, like, I want you to spank me.
Yeah.
You know, it's more like, hey, I want to do something really fun. And, you know,
presentation is everything.
Oh, yeah.
And most people like meeting other people's needs, you know, as long as they know what they are. It's hard to just guess that. And then when it comes in, when it's presented defensively, it makes it feel more like weird to then accommodate it, because it's almost like a challenge or something.
Okay, we got another voicemail I'm going to line up for you guys right now.
All right.
Hi, Eric. Hi, Caitlin. Hi, Kelly. My name is Ashley, and I had a question for Kelly. So have you ever had a guest on your show, or maybe someone write into your show who has told you about their kink or told you about their fetish or whatever they were into, and it was like too far? Like, where is the line? Like, where do we draw the line of like a healthy fetish to the potential for delinquent behavior? I actually am asking because I had a conversation with a sex worker before where she had a client who wanted her to lay there and pretend that she was dead. And he wasn't allowed to touch her or anything, but he talked to her body. I don't know. I asked her how she felt about it, and she was like, it's fine. And to me, I was like, holy crap, I'm freaking out. So I'm just wondering, have you ever had anyone tell you about their kink or their fetish, and it crossed the line for you personally? Thank you, guys. Love your show.
Thank you, Ashley. I think that was Ashley from Keep It Weird.
Yeah, I was going to say it sounded like her.
I'm really excited for this question. No one has told me something really that I thought was too far, but I just think that like boundaries for me, like if it involves someone that can't give consent, like an animal or a child, or someone who is actually unconscious, who hasn't given you previous consent, then it's off limits. It's too far. But like anything in the kink realm where we're playing is totally cool. And I even think the whole fucking cannibal thing is cool. Like
Army Hammer.
Oh, if only you'd been on our show.
Army show. Yeah. Listen, I want him to eat me when I die, honestly.
Very much. Listen, when we read the extent of the text, it became clear that Army is, you know, a presumptuous prick who gets whatever he wants and mistreats women. Yes. He mistreats and disrespects women. But
before that came out, though, we were all like, this is like a high level kink player.
I was like, you guys are kink shaming this person. Yeah, like cannibal kink is hot. Like, eat me. Eat me. You want to fuck me so bad? You want to eat me? Like, awesome. It's cool. Like that realm of play where, like, you know, you can write whatever you want in like there are so many different like crazy eroticas where, you know, you're getting fucked by like a Sasquatch or whatever. Just like anything you want. You can have whatever you want as long as it's not harming other people or yourself. Like if you're going too far with this, like whatever, let's use cannibalism as an example. If you're going too far with this fantasy and you start thinking about wanting to do it in real life, that's where you draw the line. But as long as it's in fantasy territory, I think it's pretty cool. And like sex workers, man, like they make people's dreams come true, because that guy couldn't ask his partner to play dead, you know, like he could ask a partner, like maybe someone would have been game for that, but in general it's kind of a hard kink to bring to someone, and like sex workers are great for that reason.
Well,
man, Patreon tier level 3, Caitlin and I will play dead. It's all good.
$100 a month, man. I feel like Ashley, because they cover a lot of true crime stuff in their podcast, probably heard that and was like, alarm bells go off, because a lot of the time people with you know, like all the kind of trauma that creates someone who then becomes like someone who can only get off on like necrophilia, or like having, you know, like being sort of the master of a dead body, sometimes that sort of behavior is just ramping up. So I could see being like, so I feel like the only addition I would feel like to what you said, because everything you said was spot on, because it's like fantasy should totally be fantasy, I think, and like there shouldn't be judgment involved in that. If you don't like it, that's one thing, but you shouldn't be like, that guy's a fucking weirdo and he wants to fuck corpses. That's bad.
Right.
Because maybe he genuinely doesn't, but maybe he does. And maybe I do think it's worth, like, whatever your kink is, like, do a little bit of thinking about why it's your kink, and not in a judgmental way, but like
you can dig through it a little,
talk about this lead to harm, and if it can lead to harm, then take it to like a therapist or someone who can like see that, like a sex therapist ideally, so it's like, view that and be like,
sex pause. Exactly. I think about, because you know, from what I read about Jeffrey Dahmer, I'm obsessed with serial killers, but like his fetish was like he wanted to just like fuck someone that was unresponsive, and like if he had, you know, it takes it takes a lot of vulnerability to bring that to someone, and like most people aren't willing to be that vulnerable, and he would rather kill a person or like drill holes in their head than be that vulnerable with a partner, plus he's mentally ill, so it's like it's a lot there, and there's problems. But I feel like these kinds of things can be explored safely if you're willing to be vulnerable and communicative, and you know, you're working with the professional. Like, you know, it's probably best to act with a therapist too.
Totally. It is funny because I heard the voicemail and like, maybe it's just my level, but like unfazed. Like I felt like I was waiting for a moment to be like, wait, and so what? I get it, dude. I mean, I can't speak for all parties in here, but I just will say that for myself. There have been times like you're getting like in that real conversation, that back and forth, especially like these days with like texting and all that, like in the last, like, let's call it like 16 years or so, like, because of texting and social media and stuff like that, people have been able to like kind of almost like test the waters a little bit, even before like there's physical play and stuff like that in relationships.
Definitely.
And so who among us hasn't had that one evening where the back and forth is just kind of like you're almost like playing a game of chicken, like, oh yeah, well, you can fucking play a Monopoly on my dead ass while I lay on that. And it's like you just keep going back and forth, and like it's not even like that you're getting off on the content, you're getting off on like the adrenaline rush of the back and forth and the building of like that just bubble in the moment, because then you'll wake up the next day and you'll kind of be like, hee like that was sinner me, I'm angel me now. Which is like the best and the worst. But like it's so funny because like I feel bad these days sometimes when like some of the stuff like the Army Hammer, excluding of course like the abuse allegations and all that stuff, like that's horrible. But these in the last, like, God, like ever since the entertainment industry has ever been around, like ever since like the first taboo was like what, I guess, gay people in Hollywood, and since then, you know, which isn't even, that's obviously not kink, that's just like a sexual preference, but you know, in general, just the idea of like they slowly chip away at like, oh, like what a weirdo that this person's into this or that. And it's just like, it's so funny because like I have the things that come out, I'm like, that's just like a Monday. Like, come on.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about any of these sex scandals as long as no one was like hurt.
Yeah, exactly. It's, I don't know.
And it's always the people that present super square, and then like shame these people that
if you're super outspoken about like fuck homos, you might be one yourself.
The new
you might be a homo.
Queer, you never know.
Sorry guys, homo is a ridiculous thing to say, and I was using it for comedic effect, and yeah, sorry guys.
I cannot.
Oh no.
I thought it was gonna be the Seinfeld.
That's the Army Hammer.
I knew. I saw you queuing one up.
I know.
I feel like slime just got dumped on my head.
That'd be great, like the new version of the new Nickelodeon. That probably is gonna be Nickelodeon in a couple of years. Where it's just like, oh, that's a little kink shamey.
Canceled.
All right. I'm sorry, guys. I need to put on my reading glasses. Here.
I feel like the new like true shame and kink is gonna be like wanting super vanilla sex. Like I just want you to fuck me missionary, and that someone's like, oh god,
that
like
sucks. Yeah.
I do feel like I've like seen like on Reddit people talk about that before, where there's like I've seen people kind of like they feel like they're almost like coming to like relationships with like shame. I've seen like a lot in like the relationship advice type subs and things like that, where people are talking about like, oh, I'm so nervous that like they're gonna find out that like I just like to fuck and that's it, or something like that.
More babies.
Yeah. Someone said, this isn't a question, but I don't like the Squid Game. Is there something wrong with me? Which I had to include it just because it is kind of funny to me that they ended it with a question, kind of.
I don't know if anything's wrong with you if you don't like it. I've only watched the first episode. I'm not up to date, so please don't spoil, because I do plan on watching it.
Neither of us have watched it, so you're among non-spoilers.
Okay, yeah.
Spoil it.
And I think if you don't like it, you're in my boat of just like, oh, it's a little much. Like, it's so dramatic. Like the acting style is just like one bad thing after the other, and then like everyone gets killed, and it's like, oh god, it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, that's a perfectly legitimate reason for not liking it, and like there could be other reasons, but in general it kind of hooks you, and that's why people keep watching it. But in general it's like it's a lot, so you're fine.
It could be because like I'm right now is like a very tumultuous, busy moment in my life with work and things like that. And of course, like world at large, like has always been, tumultuous, but especially like in recent years. And so, God, I've just been craving wholesome content for the most part. Mm-hmm. Besides, I'm like going through another rewatch of Sopranos, which is like a very dark and violent show. But I find actually to be very wholesome in some ways. At
times.
Yeah.
The actual mafia stuff scares the fuck out of me for some reason, and everyone makes fun of me for that. But the other stuff is,
it's New so Jersey. Funny. Like I every single time really I watch funny. It, because I'm also rewatching Seinfeld right now. And I feel like I'm almost like relating the two, even though there's no relation, but like that's how my brain operates, where I want to find these like commonalities. And I just like am laughing through both of them, except during like the really intense part. You've seen all of The Sopranos, I'm assuming?
Yes, I watched all of it a few years ago. Yeah.
I mean, the stuff like when like Christopher's girlfriend, like she gets caught by the FBI, that stuff depresses the fuck out of me. Like it's like I'm stuff
like
gives me
heart in my throat, like about to barf. It makes me so nervous. When anyone's about to get whacked, I'm like, I asked my husband, I'm like, you like this? This is entertaining, like everyone likes this, and he's like, yeah, this is great, this is the moment, where they get the guy and da-da-da. And I'm like, no. That's when you find out
he's
gonna die.
Sopranos
and I feel like I'm gonna die.
He has like a mafia kink. He's like, I fucking love this.
I love this shit. Yeah.
I also get very stressed out when I watch like violent shows. And so like I got like 10 minutes into Squid Game, and then I was like, oh, this is not for me, because this is just all intensity, all stress, all bad shit happening.
And the acting is just like,
it's like really extreme. And then it's funny because I like, as soon as I was telling myself like, I'm not gonna watch the new season of You, it's gonna fuck me up, it's gonna give me nightmares. And then like 2 days, it was like one day after it came out that I watched the entire season in like one day, and then literally felt like ill, like depressed and sad. And I actually had a nightmare just last night where I was like, Joe and Love were gonna kill me. And
oh no.
But also that show is extremely funny too. It's like
yeah, I watched the first episode and I was like, holy shit, this is cheesy. Like I can barely
it's
take
so
it.
over the top that it's almost not, it's not like as stressful to me.
Right.
Like there's definitely very dark moments, but there's so much humor in it, and it's so like tongue in cheek. It's almost kind of like it sort of balances it.
Silly. It's a little silly.
It's so
It's
I
silly.
mean yeah, the cages themselves, like there's just I don't even want to get into it. We'll do like a U
It's
episode.
so melodramatic, yeah. But I don't know.
Someone
I don't think you're messed up, person.
Yeah, someone in the YouTube said Handmaid's Tale and Breaking Bad give them anxiety. Yo, Handmaid's Tale, especially the first season, like the first 4 episodes, are like are very rough to get through. Like you really. Man.
The most recent season where things, I won't spoil anything, but things kind of try to like start to turn around a little, and I just didn't believe it. Like I was so traumatized.
Yeah, from
the first seasons that I was like, no, they're never gonna be safe.
They make the first, especially like the first half of the first season, they make it so like they take you to a limit where you like you almost don't want to watch anymore because it's just so fucking rough. And then like the other seasons start to be a little bit more like the resistance revolution, and it's like like you said, it's like you're still so crippled from the trauma of the first season that you're like there's
totally
no bleak.
Like, yay, yeah, it's so scary.
Someone wanted to know what made you want to get into comedy, and who were some of your comedy idols growing up?
I started doing improv in college, and that was super fun. And oh man, what made me want to get into comedy? Oh God. Okay, so let's get into comedy heroes. I watched The State as a kid, and I loved it. And then I watched Stella Shorts, which was just my favorite thing on earth. And I had the DVD, I would show everyone I knew and be like judging them on whether they laughed or not, if we were going to be friends.
Yeah.
I was just, obsessed with those guys. Yeah. Wet Hot American Summer. And yeah, those guys were my faves until I found Tim and Eric. And then I got obsessed with Tim and Eric. That was when I was like active in comedy though, by then. But yeah, I just really enjoyed it. And like, I was a drama kid. I made my family laugh a lot, and I don't know. My family just makes fun of everyone too. And it's just like, that's part of our, it's like making fun of everything is just programmed in. And I've definitely had to like rein that in as I get older, and start being a genuine person. What were you saying?
You were when I was doing my little research here, you produced your short through Jash, right? Which isn't that Tim and Eric's production company?
It is.
Oh, that's so badass. Because
pretty cool. Yeah, it's not like I like met them or anything. I have met them, but not through that.
I would still count that as a fucking vision board win right there.
It is. That's true. That's true. Yes, my short film was produced by Jash, and that's like I guess owned by Sarah and Michael, Sarah, and Eric, and then I think one other person. Anyway, it was interesting experiment. Yeah. And then I really wanted to do improv, and I ended up moving to New York with my ex-boyfriend because he got into grad school there, and I just went to a stand-up show Michael Showalter was doing.
And okay.
Like,
nice.
Hey, where should I take improv classes? And he kind of gave me the rundown of all the different places. And he told me to take classes at the Pit because he was a teacher there. Okay. And I was like, and then I talked to some other people and decided to do UCB. But he at the time he was like, UCB is really competitive. You should do the Pit. And I started doing like shows at the Pit regularly for a while before I did shows at UCB. Yeah.
I saw him do, they always bring ASCAT out to SF Sketchfest. And those of you who don't know, ASCAT is like a improv show that's based from, that like the origins are from UCB.
Are you in San Francisco?
I am, yeah. I'm in the Bay Area.
So wait, SF Sketchfest, are you like a SF Sketchfest head? Like, have you gone to many?
Yeah, I've been to, not like every single one, but I've been to like at least for the last decade.
Do you remember Pangea 3000?
That sounds vaguely familiar from like the pamphlets, but no. Why did you perform in that?
No, it's my husband's old sketch team. They were a really good
gotcha.
sketch team in New York, and they all went to BU together.
Shit.
Dan Klein, he's very funny, guys. Google him.
Well, we shall, and our listeners shall. I was just gonna say, I actually saw Showalter because they with ASCAT, they always like will have someone come on and like they will tell a story and then everyone makes a thing off of that. And it was Michael Showalter and Sally Field of all people who were the two celebrity guests for that. Yeah. So like just so like completely different.
Yeah. Cool.
Someone wanted to know, fuck, marry, kill, you guys. Bezos.
Here we go.
Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, wow. That's rough.
Kill Bezos.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. God, I want to kill them all.
I know, me too. But I think Bezos has to die.
I want that to be like the just title of this episode, and like just see if that like surges the numbers. Bezos must die.
And as far as personalities, like the only personality I would be able to handle for more than one day is Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And I know this is this is a close one, guys, but like
hard, yeah.
I guess I have to fuck Mark Zuckerberg.
See, no, I would have to kill Zuckerberg and I would have to probably fuck Bezos. And yeah, I think I would have to marry Elon Musk, which is like so
Zuckerberg
unfortunate.
is really up there in the evil zone too. It's really hard to tell which. I mean, Zuckerberg with the meta thing, like he might destroy all of our lives.
Yeah. I would kill Zuckerberg, and then
you're right.
I would marry Elon because that doesn't mean I have to fuck him, but I am gonna get some access to that coin. And
I kind of do want to fuck him weirdly.
I'm good. And I would actually.
We're gonna explore that later. By the way,
I think it means I get to fuck Grimes too, and that's why.
Well, not
anymore. She's gone.
Yeah.
I would fuck Bezos because I feel like he mostly pays for sex. So, and I don't feel like the other two are paying for sex. And so if I'm going to be fucking one of them, I want to be getting paid for it. And I feel like that would be Bezos. But I think Zuckerberg does have to die because I do think Facebook is evil. And
he would pay you before he even realized that you weren't a sex worker.
Yeah, exactly. He would be like, thank you.
You stack the money up and you'd be like, thank you. No, I actually lost a game of fuck, marry, kill, and that's why I'm here. But.
I feel like Elon Musk would also, I will give him credit where it's like, God, he fucking sucks, but at the same time, like, he kind of gets it way more than the other two do in some way. And I think that he would like appreciate the fact that he was like,
he's a loose cannon
of a fuck, marry, kill, and he would like tweet about it.
Totally.
Okay, so someone wanted to know, have you discovered any kinks from your podcast? And actually, I want to ask real quickly, how did you decide that you want to start doing,
sex pod?
Yes, exactly.
Me and my friend Bridie Elliott decided to do a podcast together, and we started doing it together like a month before the pandemic. We started figuring it out, and it was at first going to be like we wanted to do like comedic erotica and just like do that as a podcast, and then we were like, what if we did a genuine sex podcast? And we called it The Squirt.
Yes.
And then as it evolved, I ended up hosting it on my own, and then I changed the name of it to What Are You Into, kind of just to make it a little more accessible, and like people would maybe share it with their friends. And it's a little less like in your face, splash zone. And
first three,
but the reason, yeah, I guess the reason I wanted to is because like I just really want to embrace that side of myself, and it's really meant a lot to me to be doing that. It's been like an amazing journey too, to just like be out there about talking about sex. It's really big for me, and I'm 38 years old, and it's a little embarrassing how big of a deal it is, but it's exciting.
Oh no, I think that is a cool thing. I think that's great that we're at a place in our culture where people are starting to feel comfortable with embracing their sexuality and their kink and their fetish and being able to like, I'll say this about social media and memes sharing and stuff like that. Like, I think that is in some ways a great resource for people to dip their toes into that kind of stuff, even for people probably like come out or at least like accept like their queer identity. Like I guarantee it. There are people like because of memes and because of like that kind of stuff, they were able to kind of like hee, but actually no, there's
discover
a little bit of
things.
Yeah.
Be like, oops, I'm a dom. Yeah, totally.
So speaking of, so the original question was, have you discovered any kinks from your podcast that you ended up enjoying? If you feel comfortable saying.
Yes.
Like,
I don't know if I discovered
hosting
it.
kink.
Yes, that's a kink. No,
you like take over our show and start trying to host it. You're like,
I wish I got turned on hosting that show. That would make it so much more fun.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I do, depending. Inappropriate. But no, I don't know if it was through the show, but like I got on like a dating app. I'm married, but we're open, sort of, we kind of, it's like case by case basis. So I'm on
I am.
Wait, what'd you say?
Yeah, like I'm open.
I'm open.
All of a sudden you see like the closet door opening.
Yes. What? Excuse me. No, I was on
another bourbon and water.
Shut up.
You immediately take it to that level.
Give me a new nightgown.
Darling, give me that long cigarette thing. The long one.
Smoke in the house. So last summer I was on a dating app called Field, and I started discovering like my sub side, and that was really exciting. And like the more I talked about it, I sort of started seeking out doms and dominatrixes and other submissives to talk about it, just because it was kind of my obsession at the time. And then also the more I do the show, I like every week I kind of try to like talk about like what my new thing is. I get obsessed with things a lot, and I feel like it is kind of an ADHD quality, but like I just realized like I have a total drag queen fetish, and I think it's considered a fetish. It's really hard to differentiate between a kink and a fetish. Yeah, I don't really know what the difference is. Kink
is something that you're turned. This is what I've always known it to be.
Let's hear it.
Is
what's
like
the def?
Kink is like something that you're into, like a flavor of sexuality or play, and fetish, but you don't require it. It doesn't mean like you don't need it to get off. While fetish means like you kind of not exclusively necessarily, but like you kind of require it to be stimulated or to.
Oh, then I guess it's my kink, because I don't require it. It's just like a fun flavor, definitely. But it was for a while just like my number one obsession was drag queens. So
interesting. Any that come to mind that were specific? Like, is it specific drag queens or just the concept of men in drag?
Mm-hmm. Katya was a big one for me.
Oh, yeah.
I actually met Willem once, and like sitting next to her,
star.
I was just like, yeah, I know. I was like, she hadn't like shaved her legs for a couple days, but she was in full drag. So I was like, wow, this is hot to like see, like seeing the body hair and the drag. It's like
Willem, by the way, just shouts out, huge, like insanely talented improviser. I remember hearing him on Drew Droege, who is a friend of the show, on his podcast Glitter in the Garbage way back in the day, and Willem was on there, and Willem was already like a star. I had no idea that Willem did improv, and Willem like fucking killed it on that show. I was like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I love.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, seriously. The more like I know about him, the more I'm like, oh,
he's a professional through and through.
Through and through.
And then my most recent obsession is Charity Case, who's on season 3
UK
of Drag Race UK.
Yeah.
And yeah, I stopped watching the show when she was eliminated. Spoiler alert. Sorry. Fuck you guys. Yeah, I'm obsessed. Anyway.
All right. I like it. We are getting close to the hour mark, so we're going to do some of these kind of like lightning round style. We're just going to give you a couple of these quick ones. So I wanted to know, it's so funny that you said this earlier. I was on pins and needles to bring it up, but someone to know, would you get with Bigfoot or any other mythological and or cryptozoological animal, including, as you called it, Sasquatch?
Sasquatch.
Or what did
Sasquatch. I did not mean to say sex squatch.
Wait, Caitlin,
great. Did.
Oh, man, that's on me then. Shit.
Yeah, that's on you, bro. Yes. I mean, if we're including vampires, definitely vampires. Sasquatch, like after reading that erotica, I was like, okay, I can get on board with this. That's pretty cool. As long as I don't get ripped to shreds physically, like my body. I don't want my body to get ripped to shreds. But otherwise, yes. Sorry. Lightning round. Go
ahead. Someone wanted to know, Kelly, what is the creepiest and or scariest thing your child has ever accidentally said?
Oh, fuck. Just last week, he talked about this this shadow. He talked about a shadow person, which apparently is a thing. I talked to my neighbor about it, and he said that there was this shadow person in his room, and that's the most horrifying thing I've heard anyone say, and it was just last week, and it was for my son.
You gotta go burn some sage in there.
Get the fuck out of
here. We talked briefly of that last night when we were recording the Keep It Weird, and it was just like the idea, like, you read those stories online where kids like pointing at the chair and it's like, grandma sat in there, and they're like, this fucking bastard child has no idea who grandma is. How did they know that was her chair? Like that kind of shit.
Bastard child.
I read it and I get so spooked. I'm like, ah.
It's really scary. Yeah.
What was your favorite Halloween costume that you saw this year?
Oh God, I feel like I saw some good ones. I went to a really cool party on Saturday, and everyone was dressed
smiley
amazing.
Ghost thing was fucked up and awesome.
Oh yeah, I dressed up as a happy ghost. That was my son requested, and it was really fucked up. I can't remember the best costume from that night, but the best costume I saw, this is so basic because it's such a gimmick, but like there's a costume that like looks like an alien carrying a person. And like the way it's situated on your body, like your legs are in the alien's legs, and there's little legs dangling, and it was so funny. I saw it on Halloween night. It was great.
I'll
always love those kind, honestly.
Yeah.
Pretty cute.
When they make them for dogs and cats, and you see them like running.
Dogs holding little things. Yeah,
it makes me so happy.
Very cute.
Sorry, let me real quickly lean in here. Someone wanted to know, what is your go-to make sec song?
Make sec?
Yeah, that's the internet way of saying sex.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay. I guess the like Portishead album Dummy. That's a big one for me. That was like my virginity losing. Yeah. Glory Box too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those are great. Yeah, that's a great fucking album. Someone wanted to know, what
fucking album.
Oh, she said here, folks. What do y'all think of that new Adele song?
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
Neither did I. Caitlin?
I did hear it, and I'll love it. Just it all sounds the same to me. And
I'm sure it's fine. She has a beautiful voice. Yeah. I'm sure it's fine.
It's great. It's great. Makes me sad. She's funny though. I like watching her like interact on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I love her accent.
She needs like a reality show.
Yeah, I would.
She
totally
could definitely pull it off. Yeah.
Or like a game show or something. I would totally watch it.
Mm-hmm.
A podcast. The Adele podcast.
She has a great voice. Yeah.
She should do like a podcast for people who have just been dumped.
Totally. That's and like serenade them.
I feel bad, but I just have no thoughts about her because I didn't know that she had like an online personality or like presence, to be honest. So
I saw one video.
It's me too. It was like a clip of her like not knowing how to use Instagram Live, but she's just funny in the way that she's like kind of roasting people and like, but also has no idea what she's doing.
I did watch one thing where it was when Beyonce was playing Coachella, and because like Beyonce had like the whole like marching band, and Adele had like a trumpet at her house, and she was like filming herself like playing along with the trumpet, and it was really dorky and fun. I liked it. It was something like I would probably do.
She just seems like one of those people that even though they're super, super famous and successful, like you feel like you would enjoy like having lunch with them.
Yeah, and they're gonna like expose their genuine self to you.
Totally. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. So
we know where you're.
Yeah. One last one. Who would be on your vision board to either work with or have on your podcast?
Dan Savage, RuPaul, David Bowie, but he's dead.
All right. Here. All right. We are going to play some games, Kelly, if you have a little bit more time to hang out.
Ready.
All right. So first of all, we're going to play the classic game MASH. Did you ever play MASH in your childhood?
Of course.
All right. Well,
we added letters. That was like marsh. I think like R was ranch or something.
Oh,
I love that. Ranch
Mansion, apartment, ranch, snack. Sorry.
Ranch,
Snapchat.
snap, crackle, pop.
Shack house. Okay.
Yeah. Mansion, apartment, shack, house.
Yes.
I don't remember what else. And marsh. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to play the new one. So first of all, I'm going to ask of you to tell me 2 dream places that you would retire to, end up at, blah, 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 and 1 nightmare place that you would end up retiring at or living at.
And this is me?
This is you. This is
Okay.
only you.
Okay, dream place, like next to a waterfall in Oregon. Just Oregon.
Oregon waterfall.
Oregon waterfall. Oh, in Texas, like next to like a cold spring.
Say that again.
Nice.
Sorry. Texas.
Sorry, I'm from Austin, and we have a lot of cold springs.
Okay, okay.
there.
I love that.
Yeah, like spring-fed pools. But I
Okay.
would have one on my property.
Very cool.
And then nightmare. Sure. Oh man, I don't want to name somewhere like offensive.
San Antonio,
It
Texas?
sounds awful. Yeah, no. San Antonio's fine. I feel like I would settle. Actually, I did live in McAllen, Texas, and guys who live in McAllen, I love you. I'm sorry. I lived there for 3 years as a kid and I really hated it. So let's just put that as my nightmare. It's fine.
Is that with a C or G?
McAllen.
Perfect. All right. Sorry, y'all, but she said it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now I want 2 dream jobs and 1 nightmare job. And this is like job for life.
Okay. Author. I feel like I could do that for life. And it
Okay.
would be a dream.
And we got
God.
nodding approval from the silent co-host.
It's a tough one because there's not many things I could imagine doing for the rest of my life.
For the
I
listener
would-
at home, Kelly has her head down, like a true indecision here.
like really it's kind of torture imagining anything.
I like
Let's do my nightmare. My nightmare is like late night talk show host
Oh,
for the rest of my life, like Conan, something like that. Sounds
Yeah.
awful for me.
what if it was like he was never allowed to retire and like he had like
That's
or
what
anyone,
it feels like for like Fallon and these guys. Like they're fucked for life.
I feel like we're fucked for
Okay.
life.
Okay. So dream job, it would okay. Photographer. How about photographer? I could make that work. There would be travel. Yeah. I almost picked model because of like the travel, but then you're treated like shit as a model.
Yeah.
So fuck it.
Tell me 2 of your favorite colors and your least favorite color.
This is so stupid. Okay.
That's the vibe.
Yellow.
I was
Yellow.
gonna say it'd be funny if you're like yellow's my favorite or my least favorite color as we see
No.
this, like yellow haunting you.
I honestly have like so many yellow items of clothing. Yellow's big. Love black. Black's a good
Hell
classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Goth Yearbook. And then
We're gonna use that as
Nightmare.
the new intro song. It's just you saying that.
Thank you.
Goth Yearbook.
Goth Yearbook. Okay, just giving you another take for the song.
The
Either
remix.
yes, either magenta or purple, and no offense to Prince.
Mm.
Nightmare.
Offense
colors.
taken. We have bad news from Minneapolis now.
Oops.
2 dream vehicles, and I always say this to the guests, but it doesn't have to be a car, just like your dream mode of transportation and your least, what would be the nightmare one.
Okay.
I'll have to think of a new way of phrasing that. That's what I always say. The nightmare vehicle. It's like the Freddy movie that, like, number 14. Like,
A
Freddy,
vehicle that chops my head off? I don't know.
this time he's coming on a bus.
Yeah. Okay, nightmare vehicle would be I guess like one of those boats, like a Ford, one of those like Fords that are huge sedans.
Like Taurus.
A Ford Taurus would be just horrible park, probably comfortable, but you know, for this case, great vehicle. Okay, what is the Ski-Doo called? Like a motor bike? That's on water? What do you call those?
I honestly have no idea.
Jet ski.
A Ski-Doo.
A Ski-Doo is like the brand of jet ski, but it's called a jet ski. Okay.
Was the Ford Taurus? I'm sorry, just real quick. Was the Ford Taurus your least favorite one?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, it was my nightmare. Ford Taurus nightmare.
Dream car is
a Ford Taurus.
I dated someone whose like favorite car in the world was a Toyota Corolla, and I was like, "You have to have a personality."
To be fair, our guest this evening, Kelly, said that her dream job would be photography, and she said it in a way that made me feel like she never has picked up a camera. That she was just like, I don't know, what's something people like to do? Photography, we'll do that. Like she was picking a junior college class.
I did in high school. Okay. I got second place in a contest at a school where there were like not many people. So.
There was only you, so it was really sad that he came in second.
Exactly.
What was the picture? Do you remember?
I don't know, some picture of my friend or something laying in a flower field or something. Okay, so dream car number 2 is, or dream vehicle, like a Scout. How about like a Scout, but like refurbished and electric?
Sick.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me 2 of your dream celebrity crushes and that you would end up with, and like the worst person on earth that you would end up with.
Oh my God. To really consider the egos involved here.
You're like, Elon Musk. Like, I'm really sold on this now the more we talk about it.
Dreamy. Oh my God. All right. This is going to be the most basic bullshit. Brad Pitt.
He's hot. He's classic. Who wouldn't want to fuck Brad Pitt?
He is. I mean, worst is Donald Trump, I guess.
Yeah.
And then number 2 would be, I'm trying to think of like a childhood crush. I feel like Juliette Lewis is a good one. I would be like happy for the rest of my days. I might go insane, but I would be happy.
It's not. I mean, it's only inappropriate now because of like whatever. But I was younger at the time, younger than she was. But man, in the movie too, Cape Fear, Juliette Lewis. That inappropriate relationship between her and
hot
was so hot to me as a young man. I was like,
oh yeah, and you know, we're all young at the time, so
yeah, exactly.
The adults are the ones with the problems.
Yeah, Scorsese. Let me get 3 random numbers, please.
Okay, 6, 29, and 46.
Ooh. Okay, tell me 2 dream animals that you would hang out with, and like, what's the worst fucking animal you would hang out with?
Dream animals I would hang out with.
I think I say this part in particular is different every single time because I never know what to say. I'm like, and
just say favorite animal.
Let me say, okay.
It's too easy.
Dream animals I would hang out with. Okay, like a really, really just put sweet chill dog, like sweet chill dog.
Okay, sweet chill dog.
Okay, and then I was gonna say koala, but I think those go like a little nuts and they bite you.
Oh.
I don't know.
Maybe if you're made out of bamboo.
All right, do koala. Do koala.
Yeah, eucalyptus. I'm sorry. What did I say?
Cute.
Bamboo.
You're both fired from National Geographic.
I think they go nuts and they bite you. Okay.
I'm there,
nightmare
like,
animal.
First day of the job, like, I want to work with dream animals that I would hang out with.
I'm just imagining Eric at work on the phone, like trying to order parts for something. He's like, "What's your dream part that you would love
for your vehicle that would go into that you would be with for the rest of your life?"
What's your dream forklift, my man? What would be like the nightmare?
Worst is it's honey badger. I mean, everyone lists honey badger, right? Mm-hmm. That's the worst. They'll get you.
I don't think we've had that one yet.
They'll get your balls. They go for balls.
Damn.
Have you guys
They
ever
like leap up and rip bison balls off, apparently.
Oh, no.
There is a fish of some kind in the Amazon River that it feeds off of like certain chemicals that's in urine. And so if you piss off the side of a boat, it'll go like, into the
It'll go into your urethra.
Yeah.
I heard this in high school, and I wonder if it's even true.
I looked it up. It is true. I looked it up on like some Discovery Channel, like the worst animals you could encounter.
Oh God.
I'm going to start drawing a spiral, and I need you to tell me when to end. 3, 2, 1, go.
Drawing. Stop.
Okay. That was considered 4, even though I felt like I did infinite. All right. Right now, there's a little pencil, as you can see, that is crossing off.
Oh my God, it's an automatic MASH player?
Yeah, but we'll speed it up.
Holy shit.
All right.
That's really silly.
It's extremely silly. Kelly, are you ready to hear what the future holds for you? This is like iron type, by the way. I should tell my guests this when they come on. This is it. This is your life. Once you graduate, you'll find work in McLean, Texas. McAllen, Texas. I might have spelled it wrong. As a late night talk show host.
No!
You'll get You'll get around town in your purple refurbished Scout. You'll marry Juliette Lewis, not too bad, and live in a house with your 46 kids and your ever loyal pet, Sweet Chill Dog. And that's the story of your life.
That wasn't too bad.
I
feel like I could make McAllen work. You know, you can drive to the beach and stuff.
46 kids with Juliette Lewis in Texas, where you're a late night talk show host. I'm like picturing like you, what it is. It's like a cult, and you're a cult leader. So it's like a late night talk show is like you talking to your children.
It's on YouTube Live and stuff. Yeah. Ooh, like we are right now.
Like this. Yes. This is your nightmare right now, basically.
I had to do it every night. Oh, yes. Yes, that would be.
All right. Do you have time for one more game? Because we like to
end our game. Let's do it.
Let's do it. We end our shows with the personality quizzes. Kelly, what we like to do is to scour the depths of the internet to find the best and greatest personality tests. And boy, howdy, this one is no different. This was created.
Boy, howdy.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was created December 1st. Might have been the beginning of a December Christmas break, maybe in 2002. Developed by Kristen Hanley Cardoza. What kind of alterna mommy are you? Are you the weird mom? The one all the other mothers look at askance? Well, why not pigeonhole yourself into the category within a category? Are you ready to find out which kind of mommy you are?
Yes.
All right. Question 1. You go to pick up your kid from school. What are you wearing? Flare jeans, a flowing top, and my Birkenstocks. Ripped jeans, a tight t-shirt over another t-shirt, and my Docs. Black. All black except for the bright red streaks in my hair. A short plaid skirt over clashing plaid tights and some clunky Oxfords. Or a sleeveless top, snow pants, and a clown wig. Why not?
Birkenstocks. The first one.
All right. Where are you pierced?
Ski pants and the clown wig. That's like...
Yeah, I know.
Too silly.
That's like you're taking the attention away from the kid. Let your kid have the moment, you know?
Yeah.
That's just like, are you a mentally ill mommy?
Yes. It's not, I'm just a weirdo. Yeah. It's like, come on. What's going on?
I don't think that
like,
mom even has a kid at the
it's
school.
20 degrees outside. No, it's not. It's 75. Shut up.
Where are you pierced? I am not pierced. I like to keep it natural. Where am I not pierced? Eyebrow or nose and navel, my tongue, or I only go for experimental new piercings like the back of the neck.
Are we doing joke answers or real answers?
That's up to you.
Okay, I'm just gonna do real.
Yeah.
Because okay.
Was the Birkenstocks real?
Yes.
Okay, that's.
It's like the outfit was me to a T. Yes, nose ring.
Okay. What would you be most likely to have tattooed on your lower back apart from your child's name? A lemur because they are fuzzy. A black rose because they are elegant, but not too wussy. I wouldn't get a tattoo, probably, but if I did, it would be a picture of the earth. Some sort of black tribal symbol. I love the way they look, or I would want an intricate illustration from an old copy of Alice in Wonderland?
Oh,
That's
man. Yeah, that's
Is it-
pretty cool. I guess it would be the Earth one. I wouldn't get one, but if it were, it would be the Earth.
Mother Gaia. All right. Question 4.
Gaia.
What cause do you get behind the most? Okay, what cause do you get behind the most? The environment, religious freedom. I am not too into causes. I guess I just wish everyone would leave each other alone. I am my own cause, or women's rights.
Environment.
All right.
I love I am my own cause.
I
Yeah.
am my own God. Like, again, crazy.
That's like some like Hot Topic shirt from 2002. Probably.
Yes, like a 15-year-old would be
Yeah.
like, I don't care. Yeah.
Which onesie slogan is the one for your infant? Anarchy in the pre-K, 100% breastfed. My mother wears combat boots. Can't sleep. Clowns will eat me. Or heathen.
I hate all of these. I
Me
hate
too.
words on onesies, but if I had to pick one, it would be heathen.
All
That one's
right.
kind of cute.
Any of the other ones suck. I mean, can't sleep, clowns will eat me, and is a close second.
That's like a Hot Topic-y kind of shirt to me
Yeah,
as well.
and it's
So
like,
better than
I don't
100%
care. Like, my kid,
breastfed.
yes, I can't stand. Yeah, all of those other ones suck so bad. Heathen. I like heathen.
What would you name your child? George, whether they're a boy or a girl. Moon, I love Frank Zappa. Jaren, Sage, or Oceana.
I'll pick Sage.
Okay.
That's like the only one I liked out of them.
Yeah. That collection, that is quite the collection of names they
Yeah,
went with.
I
on
love
there.
that. All of those were weird. I
Yeah.
feel like
Even
little
George with like the
Yeah,
context
like
of the
boy
other
or
ones
girl,
felt
yeah.
fucked up in a weird way. What
Yeah.
holidays do you celebrate? I make them up as I go along. I know. We celebrate.
That is, I feel like one of these answers, if you get all of them, it's like CPS gets called at the end.
yes,
It's
exactly.
actually like an undercover
You're
test.
gonna do the brr, and like slime's gonna
What holidays do you celebrate? I make them up as I go along. We celebrate old holidays based on the seasons.
Mhm.
Every day is a celebration, but we celebrate the different seasons specially. That's a weird way to add.
Okay.
I'm not big on holidays, but I do all the traditional ones for the kids. And then whatever gets me off work. Am I right?
I thought it was gonna be whatever gets me off.
Those are the best
Um,
holidays.
Yeah.
Arbor Day.
Sub a vampire day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my God, that just reminded me. My friend did a bunch of joke porns one time, and the one that I was in was Arbor Day porn, and I had to
No
pretend I
shit.
was getting fucked by a tree. And that footage is out there, folks.
Environmental
All right,
cause-worthy mega fan Kelly Hudson, if you're just joining us for the live feed.
Yep. I think it would be major ones for the kids.
Oh,
Or
I'm
the-
not big on holidays, but I do all the traditional ones for the kids.
Yeah.
Imagine your dream wedding gown. What does it look like? And then parentheses, yeah, I know. But so many of the weird moms I know had cool wedding gowns. And then here are your options.
Who wrote this quiz?
It's usually a 13-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what we found.
Okay.
Deep red velvet with black trim and a tight corset. A
Mhm.
two-piece, casual and really sexy. A strappy green dress that falls to just above the knee. This one just says pink fur. Or gorgeous flowing gown in my favorite color that drapes just right.
This is my wedding dress?
Yeah.
Shouldn't like most of them been white? That's so weird.
Not the-
Not for the
Not
weirdo
cool moms,
mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that these questions make so much more sense now that I realize the child wrote them. Okay. I guess the like just right one at the end.
Yeah, the one that like sounded kind of like, hey, or a wedding dress.
The favorite color, yes, the one that sounded like a wedding dress. I actually had a night. Before the wedding, I had like a classic wedding nightmare, and my dress was like a dark red with black trim.
Oh,
And it
wow.
was like,
Oh.
no, this isn't what I wanted. It was like what I had seen on MTV whenever Pamela Anderson and Tom
That's
Lee
exactly where my mind went to. That's so funny.
Yes. There was like something on MTV where someone was like, this is how I would design the place settings. I would include a little bottle of Jack Daniels and and it was like all black and red. Stupid. Yeah. That's what my dream was.
I'm kind of down to now to like get married in pink fur or whatever that one.
Yeah, I don't know
Like
what
that
that one was.
I like to, and it's the only one that used a period at the end of it. Just said pink fur.
I'm just imagining like a onesie just made of like furry, like a Halloween costume. Like
that's
a cat.
cold enough. Why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you want to live? Paris. Those catacombs sound wild. Finland. They have really progressive laws there. Why all these Western locales? Anywhere exotic, I say. San Francisco. I love all the great vegetarian restaurants. Or Venice Beach, California. I'd fit in there.
I mean, San Francisco's dead, but that's always been like my favorite place. I don't know. Realistically, I guess Finland. Why not? You know.
Realistically, Finland's the only option for all.
Yeah.
Not Venice, which is
yeah, you're right. Which is the town I live in.
Realistically, I see myself. Oh, that's so fucking funny.
Sorry. No, you're right. Well, no. It's my
we're
quiz,
sticking
so
with
we're doing
Finland. Yeah, that was your first answer, best answer.
Yep, I like it. The final question. Your child is the only one in her preschool to ... or their preschool, I should say. Your child is the only one in their preschool to protest the use of animals as food as snack. Seeing "They're coming to take me away" at the top of her lungs, hex the teacher, swear, or insist that she called Miss by the boys.
Insist that she call Miss by the boys.
Insist that she be called Miss, like Miss Beatrix by the boys.
So this is people with daughters, I guess.
Or Mr. by the boys. Yeah, I guess this young lady, she had a very specific idea of what.
I don't have an answer. I guess the top of my lungs one. I feel like my kid might scream something at the top of his lungs. Maybe not that, but something.
All right, we're going to calculate these now using the state-of-the-art Goth Yearbook calculating machine.
Boop, beep, boop.
All right, are you ready? What kind of mom are you?
Oh my God.
Witchy woman.
Yes, I'm ready. Ooh,
you are a mama of mystery. You look great in black, and you know it. You're not afraid to try new things with your hair and makeup, and Morticia Addams is a role model. And why not? She's cool and sexy, and she loves her family. Email this page to your friends.
I feel like I didn't pick any of the goth stuff.
I know.
Yeah, Morticia loves her Birkenstocks. Everyone knows that.
Oh, boy.
And her traditional non-black gown. Yeah.
Post to your Facebook right away and share.
Well,
I feel like at one point in my life I did take a quiz and posted the results to my Facebook.
Oh yeah,
I did on my
to remember that.
I did on my live journal. I found it because we read like old diary and journal entries on our show last year. So I found my old live journal and I was reading some very intense, dramatic things I was writing back as a freshman in high school off there. And while I was scrolling through it to like find like what I wanted to grab, there was like all these ones that were like, "Which of the Olsen twins are you?" Like shit like that I was posting up on there. Like back when like personality quizzes.
I know them both so well.
I got Mary Kate if I'm not mistaken.
Oh wow.
I see you as a Mary Kate.
Yeah.
I don't know the difference.
Ashley's like the mysterious one, right?
No, Mary Kate's like the more goth one, and Ashley's like the more straight edge one. But they're like different now because now they're both kind of just like crazy and goth.
Yeah.
But that was at least like when they were teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unfortunately, though, that is all the time that we have. We learned so much about you. We learned that you are a mama of mystery. We learned that you have a illustrious future ahead of yourself with Juliette Lewis and a cavalcade
what
of
a
children.
Future.
Yeah. Before we get going this evening, is there anything that you'd like to plug? Where can the people find your stuff? Tell them
You can find me at What Are You Into on Instagram. You can subscribe to the show on whatever podcasting platform you use.
It's so good too. I highly insist everyone check it out. It's like on my short list of like the ones I check out every week. It's so good.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot, Eric. Thank you. And if you want to check out my short film that I did with Jash, it's called Tond, Tond. You can check it out on YouTube. And I am an old man in it, so enjoy.
Nice.
The poster alone, just look at it, people, and you'll know it's incredible. Well, again, thank you so much for coming on our show. Thank you for playing all of our weirdo games. Thank you for answering all these crazy questions. We'll have to have you back on in the future because there was actually so many more that we didn't even get to.
Wow.
I know. That's just how it sometimes goes. But that being said, Caitlin, is there anything that you need to plug or anything like that before we head on out?
Onlyfans.com/Caitlin D.
Ooh,
hell yeah.
I'm gonna get on that.
That's
nice to meet you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Friday, I almost forgot. Keep it weird.
Yeah.
Ashley and Lauren drops this Friday, and then Caitlin's episode dropped a few weeks ago, so make sure to check out her episode as well. With that being said,
that months ago?
Probably. Who
Whatever.
knows? Time.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Kelly, again, thank you. Caitlin, as always, thank you for being the co-host. The Mo-host, thank you to all that were in the YouTube. I'm going to say good night to y'all. Good night, guys. Have a good evening.
Good night.
Good night.